Welcome Instagram.
We are live. Okay. Hi, Sean. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Daniel. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. So, let's wait a few moments for people to join us. In the
All
meantime,
right.
as I'm trying to get live on Instagram here, as usual,
Mm.
those joining us, can you just tell us in one word what's the best word that describes how you feel this evening? Okay. So, those joining us, just let us know how you feel in the comments. What's the best word that describes how you feel this evening as you join Sean and I for a meaningful midlife? Okay, so today we've got a great topic. We've got great topic. We've got self-care, sex, and the midlifer. Okay, I'm a midlifer. Sean, are you a midlifer? Are you in your mid?
Of course I am.
Ayo, you look so young.
Of course I am. um,
Tell me, oh my goodness, what's the secret of your youth? Yeah. Yes. So Sean, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself? So a lot of people know me already.
mm,
Yeah. So Sean is a tantrika, a yoga teacher, a yogini, and what exactly do you specialize in?
uh, yoga. Just yoga. Okay, basically what I'm specialized in the feminine masteries program. Then I'm helping a lot of women to overcome some physical, emotional, mental, yeah, the situations that they want to deal with currently, or maybe helping them to overcome some trauma. Yeah.
And how long have you been helping women basically discover themselves, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it? Why are you doing it?
Since, okay, first of all, I answer your question first. That would be since 2018. But
Mm,
before this, I have been through a lot. So I started from self-care. Today, our keywords is self-care.
yeah.
So I just want to use the word self-care first of all.
Yes.
And I think helping others, that makes me know more about my self-intimacy.
Yes.
Mm,
We usually start from a place that we ourselves experience, right? We ourselves are struggling
mm,
with, and then we learn from that, and then we feel driven to try and help people, right?
yeah, correct.
Okay, so viewers who are watching, I'm sorry, I look distracted because I'm trying to go live on Instagram here, but we'll continue talking here for a few moments. So I'm Daniel. I'm a teacher, I'm a trainer, and I'm a Reiki healer. And again, I also help midlifers. Okay, myself. I think our midlife is usually the time when we find ourselves, or we want to find ourselves. We find that we've been working for so long, or we've been going through like just a routine, and then we suddenly get, hey, what happened to my life, and then you slowly try to discover who you are, what you're passionate about, because most
Yeah,
people, all their lives are taken up by their work, all their lives are taken up by their um, by other people, so their family, the children, the husband, the parents, and that's fine, that's very valid, those are valid reasons, but you also have yourself to look after, right? Because if you don't look after yourself, who can look after you?
yeah, that's right. That's right. I
So
think this is a kind of trust within us, whether
yeah.
we choose to be totally independent or
Mm,
we pick up the another information that will be interdependent, living in the community. I consider my family is like my close community as
yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
I find that in relationship part, and we also find that in midlife, a lot of people they struggle a lot, especially nowadays. A lot of midlifers, and then they got married late,
Mm,
and then they had they would have children, I mean, still young, So now it's a golden time for them to, to push up something for their career, and also financially. I'm talking about financially. So that actually affects a lot, especially in the emotional part. And then that affects, their physical part as well, whether they still feel passionate about their life or not. So yeah, there are a lot of things happening, and especially the conditionality, how people see them, how people judge them, and there are many, sounds from everywhere. But how a midlifer can survive in this part. And self-care is a kind of survival.
Yes, because most of us don't really look into self-care when we're younger, right? Most of us don't really
Not
think
really.
in 20s, do I need self-care, things like that. We may have to just not do Instagram, because I really don't know why today cannot.
Okay.
So wait, just give me a moment. We'll try again. It's still 5 minutes after 5, so we can still continue talking here while I try to forgive me, everyone. Forgive me.
You are forgiven.
I always have this. Okay, I have to tell. I know Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same people, but I always have this issue with going live on Instagram. Instagram, if you're hearing me. So today, Sean and I are going to be discussing a little bit about self-care, sex, and lifers. So in her Divine Feminine Mastery programs, Sean deals a lot with sexuality, and of course, with sexuality, we talk about sex as well. Noah. Yes, right.
We do. I name it as self-intimacy, physically, emotional part, and also the mental part. So it's a kind of alignment, not just talk about sex, So a lot of people, that's why a lot of people, they saw the word tantrika, then they will link to something that, like sex, and I really highlight this part, and it's a kind of energy expansion, so that it's easier for them to understand. When I run my program, with consciousness. Consciousness takes place, yes.
Actually, a lot of people don't realize that the yoga we practice actually comes from Tantra. So when you say Tantrika, I also am a practitioner, or not Tantrika lah. The male one, Tantric.
As long as you're following something yogic, and you are practicing Tantra.
If you're practicing Hatha yoga, for sure, which is what most of us are practicing anyway, most of us would be immersed a little bit in tantric matters. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think, Tantra means straight away
something kinky, something kinky,
and other stuff like that. We may have.
I think that is forgivable. Because we learn from nothing.
It's our job to educate people, right?
Can be. I think I just want to use the word inspire, share. Whether the person would pick up the information or not, it depends on their choice. Really, it's always a choice.
Yes, it always is a choice. It's almost 10 past. I'm going to try 1 more minute to go online on Instagram. The last time, also seriously, the last time I went live, it took 10 minutes plus and I really don't know. I don't know why. Sean, do you have this problem? No.
Because I don't go live now, and I'm doing a lot of alone work and my artwork, and I need to process all of them for my transformational process. So throughout this period, I really focus on something that I want. Yes. So, I'm very focusing.
So viewers watching, whether live or on replay, Sean also does amazing artwork. So move one side, Sean. Let's take a look at your artwork at the back. See, nice, right? So pretty, right?
That is Calvert.
Okay, so I'm going to give Instagram already, lah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're only going live on Facebook, and
Let's laugh first.
Sean has got is doing an exhibition also, right?
Yeah, next month.
Okay, next month. So guys, next month in November, Sean is doing an exhibition that you can choose to join view. Where? Tell us.
GMBB. Yeah,
Yes.
curated by Philip Wong.
Where?
GMBB KL. I think it's an art center.
Okay, so GMBBKL. You guys Google
Yes.
it next month to see Sean's wonderful work. Is your Kali going there as well?
Not real. No. It's all are eyes.
Oh,
all are single eyes, and they are meanings in each eyes.
Kali, you're giving me,
Kali is one. The Kali is already in Australia. Another one is already with my
that's a
teacher.
nice one. Okay, so whoever bought it from you or got it from you, yeah, it's a great piece of work. Okay, so let's start. I've given out on Instagram, so I'll just apologize on Instagram later. Okay, so the first question that we're dealing is why is sex part of self-care? So, Sean, could you help to explain why sex is part of self-care?
Basically, the sexual energy is a kind of basic instinct in every one of us. Mm-hmm. In every one of us. And then so that it's not something filthy, and we really have to remove this word shaming, you know. So when two physical bodies get intimate contact, and that is what we so-called shows a kind of depth of wisdom. And not only mutual pleasure, but also self-pleasure. But when we name it as a kind of self-care, and how many of us really understand the buttons all around our bodies? What do we need? Yeah, especially for women and also men. What do they ask for? So they really have to rediscover this part. It doesn't matter, I mean, whether you are in midlife or young life, and then, at different stage, you will have different perspectives, perceptions, and also ways of thinking, ways of speaking, I mean, sharing this topic, sex, with your friends, you know. So I think this sexual urge is naturally a basic instinct. And this is called sexual energy, and we can name it as a kind of creative energy as well. In 7 chakras, yeah. So it is at the sacral chakra.
Yes.
So yes, we are here because of that. We are here because of that, and I think.
Sexual energy, yes, sacral.
Yeah, sacral. Yeah, not throat. Yeah, sacral. Yes, it's like our throat. I mean, it's vocal. The vocal cord, yeah?
Yeah,
it is a kind of expression, and then that could awaken our 5 senses. So not just we witness something, but how we feel, smell, hear, and even, vocalize it. So a lot of people, I mean, they may not know body inside the internal organs would and could vocalize. Allow it to express it. And some people, they may be just silent it and mute this part because of shyness. And I find that vocalize is like singing. Allow your body to sing. Allow the flow to be, let it be naturally.
Okay, well, for me, I feel sex is part of self-care because going back to the word self-care, you need to look after yourself. So you need to know yourself first, right? So you know the self, and a lot of people don't know the self. So just going on the very basic level of sex being something physical, okay, not even going on something emotional. That means relates to physicality, means our body, and a lot of people don't know their bodies. Okay, a lot of people, you ask them trying to use right hand or left hand, trying to walk right leg or left leg, things like that. it's not actually so easy because we're not used to our physicality, our solidness in this world. Yeah. So even like when we sit down, for example, I'm sitting down here, you're sitting down there. A lot of people don't think about how am I sitting? Am I sitting more to the right or more to the left? Or, you know, and so at this very basic level, if we are not aware of our body, then how are we going to be aware of our body when we are intimate with someone else emotionally? And
it's a kind of awareness. It's a kind of awareness, and to know and deepen what actually we want. We want, and we can tell. This is part of what we so call the expressiveness, you know.
Yeah. And I think also like an appreciation of ourselves, because when we know ourselves, we then can appreciate ourselves. And so in that sense, for me, sex is part of self-care because, okay lah, aside from the fact that when you do have sex, you have, science says you increase endorphins in your body, okay? And
hormonally, yes.
Yes, so you actually feel happy, okay? So a lot of people who are not happy, I hope you're listening, okay? Yeah, but please, we are not saying go out and have sex willy-nilly. I just talk about sex, and please practice safe sex. We always advocate sex, right?
Yes, it's a kind of education and inspiration to allow people to know more about what do you want in your sex life. Especially for midlifer, what do you really want? Do you still have that urge? Do you still have that urge? And if you still have that urge, what do you need to do? And then so that you can move forward. That's actually what I think about self-care, because it's something like you need to link with your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, and also your energy body, whether you still have that vitality, I mean, to let you know. Don't think of, try to remove of this kind of perception, thinking I'm too old to have sex, because as like mom, and then they do have folds, or probably, I mean, that kind of what we so call the, you know, the stretch marks, or maybe the body is not as young as before, like 20 years ago, so that you find that it's a shame to shine, and then you find that you don't have the right to reach. You don't have the right to reach. This is a kind of self-judgment, you know, self-sabotaging as well. That's actually what I can see, I mean, from a lot of people, especially in Asian countries. And then they might be stereotyped like, yeah, I am too old to have this. Yeah, I'm talking about from women's side, you know, from women's side. From men's side, and men's side, I'm waiting for you to shine.
I thought you were going to tell me men's side also.
Midlifers, the male midlifers that I have been meeting up with, not sexually, but we have that conversations to talk about what midlifers really want, okay? And men are like small boys forever. Forever means they do have their kind of emotions deeply, and they can be seen and named practical, but as a matter of fact, the deep vulnerable part, and then they don't always show. So how, I mean, a man can share their vulnerability, it depends on how comfortable he is with his own partner. But first of all, I find that the man, I mean, might take a lot of time, might take longer time to express it. I'm not saying worse than women, but men may take longer time to express it.
Why aren't you saying worse than women?
It's not worse. It's not worse. I mean, compare, you know. But to me, I think I can make women comfortable telling me everything. And at the same time, I can even inspire men to share everything with me as well. It's not about they're trying to tell me some secret, but they are trying to show, share, express actually what they really want. They want care. They want to be nurtured. They want to be, we use the word sayang, okay? They just want to be cared, especially the kind of, something like hugging, embracing, praising, compliment, to be empathetic, and to be supported, And in return, think about women first, yeah? Whether this self-care of themselves as women and self-care from men, is that equal and balanced or not? I'm talking about both sides, Do they really care about all this or not? And then do they really trust themselves they can, bold and brave to share and express or not? This is actually this is really a big topic for midlifers. That's why you can see a lot of people, they get stuck in relationship, especially they don't have sex at all. It's because they are bored with their own body, first of all. So they don't see the beauty, they don't see the fun at all. They get bored easily.
People get bored. No, okay. Well, I don't know about women, but in terms of men, from what I know, not just in terms of sex, and we are generalizing, which is actually in a sense not very fair, but most from what I understand and see, not just with sex, but generally when with men, especially when you reach this age, okay, when you reach this age, it's a lot to do with performance, because through performance you communicate your ability, your I guess your power, okay, to use to it's not really the right word, but in terms of if you perform well, then you shine well, okay, so that kind of thing. But it's not just in terms of sex, it's also in terms of anything that they do. So let's talk about, say, a sportsman or an athlete or even a regular guy who goes to the gym. They will always talk about, wow, when I was 25, I could do like that. Now, how come I'm tired? So they always compare themselves to when they were younger. And it's always performance. It's always like, how come I managed to do like that when I was that age? But then, so there's no acceptance of when we are this age, our body not so young, we cannot regenerate cells so fast, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying? We eat more, we eat fat more. It's like, it's not like when you're 20 years old, you eat like, when I was 20 years old, I'll tell you this, I used to eat for my dinner, 20 to 30 years old. For my dinner, I will have 2 or 3 Burger Kings plus 1 hot dog or something like that. So it's four, then sometimes French fries. I don't gain weight, my waist 30 inches. And then I always like that. How come when I was 20, I can do like that, but now when I'm like 48, how come I cannot? It's always like that. So it's the same.
Metabolism.
Yeah, it's the same with in the bedroom. I'm assuming it's the same in the bedroom, and so that there is, as you say, also there's that word shame. There's a shame in the performance. It's not the same as previously. When they were 25.
The hormone in the hormones in the man's body, when during the young age, we name it as hot age. We name it at hot age, and then it can happen any moment when they want, 24/7.
The thing is, from what I understand, with sex, right? A man's peak is between 25 and 30 years old, and a woman's peak is over 40, right? Between 40 and 45 or something like that. I don't know. I cannot remember women's peak, but it's much older than the men's peak. So I think in terms of for men, when it comes to sex at this age group, it's a lot more about self-acceptance. So we're talking about the self.
Yes.
So we are
Yeah,
talking.
true.
We talked about knowing yourself, and the second thing is for me is accepting yourself. So knowing yourself, accepting yourself is the second thing, and understanding that this phase of your life doesn't mean that it's worse than before. It just means it's different than before, and different doesn't mean worse, Mark. Different just means different, right?
You gotta accept it. Gotta accept it. Women as well, the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
same.
I think that is why self-care is so important, because as you move into older age, if you accept yourself and if you know yourself and accept yourself, and you move to your 60, 70 years old, I think you'll have a much more fulfilling life. You won't be looking back and going like, how come now my body's so old, last time my body's so young, I can do this, I can do, you don't have that kind of mindset. You let go of that mindset. So I think that is very important also when it comes to matters of intimacy, right? Not?
Yes. To know what you want, that's very important. To accept.
Yes. We agree, right? Yeah.
Know what you want. To know what you want and to accept who you are, what you can do. That actually very important.
Yes.
That's very important for you to know, not just, like sex, but today if we talk about sex and it's a kind of self-care. It's the more mature you become, the better you know which button of yours needs to be re-energized and realigned. And then you would, from food, diet, from your lifestyles, and from the mind program, how you are going to, realign with that, with consciousness, what you can do and what you can't do. A lot of men, they would be kiasu, and then they would just say, of course I can.
We're both laughing.
Of course I can, at any age.
See, all the men are going to switch off already. Oh, it's okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. All right. So
it's no joke,
Oh, I'm laughing. You're laughing.
We are laughing because we need to crack some jokes.
Okay. So that was the first question. Why is self-care important? Why is sex important as part of self-care for midlifers? And the second question is, why is communication important as a part of sex? Important for sex. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I think this is actually a very meaningful part for both. Actually, for both to tell. We name it as, the asana. You see, yoga, we have the alignment, asana alignment, right? And in sex part, and also have the kind of asana. Okay, we name it as sexana, okay? We name it as sexana, okay? So this, we need to tell what you really want. And I keep saying the same thing, what you really want, what asana you prefer, and what makes you feel comfortable. And it's a kind of intimate communication. It's really bold and brave for me to share. If you don't tell, you don't know, you just watch pornography and then you follow the same thing, and that may not work. So what to do? You will become disappointed. You will
watch porn and then.
Okay, I'm not joking. Why you laugh? I'm not joking.
Okay. You're not joking.
I'm not joking. I'm telling you the truth. And it's a kind of communication. With.
Okay, I'm laughing with Sean. No, but communication is important, obviously, because
very much.
And I think it's not just okay, again, it's much broader than just sex. It's actually in, let's say you're having an intimate relationship or just a relationship or even a friendship. Okay, if you have a friendship, if you do not communicate, the other person is not a Jedi. Okay, they cannot read your mind. You
They
need
can't.
to, yeah, you need to at least talk, and you don't have to demand. You don't have to.
Just
And
share, just be who you are. You have to be who you are. Then you can realign yourself. If you don't tell what you really want, it's really hard for the person to understand actually what you want. Yeah, I straight to the point that Saxana, and it's because a lot of people, they don't tell.
yeah.
They follow. It's good to follow, but what you really want, is that your cup of tea?
In terms of that, okay, following and all, yes, you can gain inspiration, you can gain
Yeah, for sure.
a little bit of creativity in terms of that, in terms of sex. But in terms of just generally, if you want to develop a stronger bond to your partner, there needs to be some discussion now, because
Yeah.
um,
There is no shaming to discuss.
you don't have to have a conference about it. You don't have to take notes or anything like that. But you sit down and that's what forms a relationship or even a friendship. So whatever it is that you're having in talking about intimacy, if you're talking about non-intimacy, it's the same thing. If someone bothers you or you need something from someone, if you don't ask, they cannot read your mind, right? It's like,
Just say it. Just say it, and then next job, next task is let's explore.
yes.
Exploration is very important.
And
Yeah.
I think there are certain ways of saying it that I read about. Okay, I don't know because I never tried it. But if you're a bit concerned about it, maybe what you can do is you can first journal about it. Don't journal and then show the person now. Journal about it so that you clarify in your mind what it is exactly you want. And then after that, you can just say nicely lah. No need to say like, hey, why you always do like, don't make it like something offensive, don't you think, Sean, when it comes to communicating, it has to be done a little bit softly also lah, soft, yeah. Don't make it an accusation, right? Don't say like, why you never do this, or how come you never do that? I mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's actually very, very heartwarming one. You think about a word like seduction, right? So you think about you yourself as a seductress so that it's easier for you to take the lead. Think about that first. As you journal, you think about, I mean, when someone is journaling, thinking, imagine, exploring, and putting yourself into that role, thinking you are the seductress and how you're going to want the man to do for you, and what you're going to do. I mean, in the sensual part, in a sensual way. I think not just, I teach sexuality, but I actually teach sensuality more than that, because I find that this is a kind of vibe that a woman can create from inside out, and whether the woman can, attract the man, to let the man get attracted to you, it depends on, your inner vibes, whether you are in that moment, you are in the mood or not. And also men is the same, the body language can tell, the eye can tell, that energy can tell. That's why this is a kind of energy expansion. Whether you want it, that means you are doing it with consciousness, not casually, but consciousness. This is actually what I realized. I'm talking about according to my experience. I find that it's not like after we drink, we dance, and then, yes, we do it. But what do you really want, and what do you really prefer?
Yes.
What do you really prefer, and what do you really want? Say it out.
So it's really like this, right? It's really like you are, because I really like this. I like this topic. I'm going to explore it from now on. I like the idea of, and I think you like it also. I like the idea that we have our own stories, right? So you can have one story which says, oh, you go to a pub, you meet someone, I have a drink, and then you go home. Or you can have another story, as Sean just said, you can have another story that you are the hero, the heroine, you are the seductor or the seductress, and you can create this fabulous tale, right? This fabulous story from this. So what, as Sean said earlier, it's always a choice. It's a choice that you have.
It's a choice.
Yeah, some people would like the easier choice. Okay.
Yes, you just make it more creative, because sexual energy is a kind of creative energy. Just create it, not just thinking. I mean, for midlifer, I find that, I mean, just create something like play, maybe role play, and then to make it more fun. And before this, how you're going to create an atmosphere, like great dinner, or maybe you go shopping. You know, women are emotional. And even midlifers, I'm talking about women, they are still emotional. Yeah, no matter how wise and how, how successful it can be. I think self-care is a kind of survival. You know, if you know how to survive, to balance your hormone. If you want to be happy, and then you got to balance your hormone. You get what I mean? Not just sexually, but emotionally, and how you feel. And your emotion would definitely affect the performance. I mean, from both sides. I'm not talking about just for women, from both sides. And then if you are really down, so how you're going to perform well, then you will start to, feel bad. And what if the woman who you are having this lovemaking with, she understands what you really feel, and she also wants to know more about the hidden facts behind it, so it's easier for both to communicate better and better. I think this is a good bonding as well, not just sexually, but also a kind of, intimate way to communicate, and it goes deeper. Not just, we talk about reaching the climax and orgasm, so that, I think tomorrow will be another 2-3 rounds, and then will be the same. I think this concept and this perception should be, we really have to rethink a bit. Our body can change every day. So the communication in the body, in the hormones, they will tell everything that what they want first. And spiritually, in spirituality, what it wants is about the soul calling. If the soul is not ready, for that, that is not nice, to execute it. I use the word execute it. So how? I think communication is really important. One side really has this urge, but the other side says no. What's going on?
Yeah.
Then just communicate, just say it, and then how you feel. I think men always, I'm not biased, I'm saying men have to be inspired. I use the word ask, how are you feeling today? Is everything okay? And at the same time, I think women should do the same. Actually, is everything all right? Get a cup of water, and then to cool everything down first, ask. And even the performance is not that good, and it's not about tolerance, but just take it. But take it doesn't mean that you try to tease or humiliate, but try to pamper each other. Not every time the performance is the same. And even, the young people, not every time is the same. Yep, that's the point that I would like to make. Communication takes place.
I think the young people don't communicate. I don't know. I really have no idea what happens with young people.
I educate my kids. I educate my daughters, and then I say to them, you should set your criteria. What do you want? If you really want to have sex and during the young age, and then think about the verdict, think about the consequence at the end first. And is this man really reaching to your criteria? Think first, then do. Think before you speak, think before you do. I'm not trying to overprotect my kids, but I'm trying to say that what they really want you can explore, experience it, but at the end of the day, accountability. Think about the accountability, think about the responsibility. I think it's too early, I mean, for young girls, I mean, to get pregnant. This is actually my point to my daughters. Before you reach 30 years old, go and travel around the world. Forget about, I missed it. That's why I really strongly highlight this, I mean, to my daughters.
I agree. I think travel is important, but that's a different topic.
Yeah. So we back to communication, my dear. We back to communication, and communication is absolutely important for sex. Absolutely. The life skill, lifestyle, diet, healthcare. And if you don't eat well, look at the metabolism. Look at everything. I mean, the changes of the body, and physically. Talk about physically first. So if you feel, that actually, I mean, relate to one another. No.
I totally agree. Okay, so let's move to the final question we're dealing with, because I told Sean that we 3 questions enough already, and sure enough.
Luckily, I didn't make up another 3 questions.
Then I knew no need already. Okay. Do you think self-worth is important for self-care? So that's the final question we're dealing with today.
Absolutely, yes.
Of course not.
Absolutely, yes.
I think self-worth is very important as well, because even if you know when to say no, the
bottom line.
You know when, and you know with whom, and you know. I mean, I think so in terms of going back to that first question that we were dealing with, what I was saying is you know yourself, you accept yourself, and you appreciate yourself. And
you value yourself.
Appreciate lah.
Value, yes.
You value yourself, and that's a better word. Value is a better word. And then obviously then your self-worth is important. But so you do have that journey of knowing yourself and accepting yourself and valuing yourself before, well, not necessarily before, but the thing is that your boundary is clearer. You have more clarity in terms of what you want, what you don't want, and when it comes to your self-worth, when to say no, when and who to say no to. And I think most of us around this age kind of know already, and sometimes we are a little bit scared to go beyond that, right? We're a little scared to...
Curious whether you can challenge it or not.
Right. Some are just scared, right? I cannot try that. Okay, I have to tell you, this is how I feel since I was a teenager anyway, is I'll try anything once. But I don't necessarily, so it's good to, it's just like, if it's the same with any experience. So like, for example, someone says, oh, that person very bad or whatever it is, you keep an open mind, right? Because that person who's advising you, their experience with the bad person may not be the same experience that you have with that person, right? So it's the same thing, okay? Unless for example, that the activity you're going to do can be destructive to yourself, to your body, to your mind. So I'm talking about substance abuse, basically. We cannot manage it. And, just other things like, where you, for example, put yourself at risk. So we definitely don't encourage you to put yourself at risk, right or not?
To try something which you cannot handle is according to your capability and capacity that your physical body cannot handle.
So you need to, so again, you need to go through that whole journey of knowing yourself, accepting yourself, and valuing yourself And then you understand why self-worth is important for sex, right or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Self-worth. And you know what you know, I mean, how according to your maturity. You will know how. You will know how it's because of you. I mean, someone, I just name an example, like someone has experienced and been through a lot in his or her life, and they already know what is okay and what is not okay. The choice is always there, you know. As midlifer, I just want to give a piece of advice, and always know that your self-worth equals to your maturity.
Yes.
Equals to your maturity. What can and can't you know? Because you already have the direction. You already know, I mean, what can be and what can't. Of course, I see a lot of people, they say, of course I can, you know, but you see, as midlifer, we got to learn how to accept the fact.
Yes.
I mean, accept the fact that what is can and what is can't is according to our capability and capacity. Capacity is actually the first thing that I'm thinking about.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. So we're running out of time. Again, when I'm going to put this on replay on Instagram, and I apologize to Instagram for not being able to put it live. If you have questions, you can write it in the comments. You can tag Sean, you can tag me regarding this topic. We'll do our best to answer based on our knowledge, our ability. You can also directly message us, okay, if you like, regarding this matter or matters relating to self-care, matters relating to yoga, matters relating to energy, and we'll do our best to help you, okay, and or maybe direct you where you can go. Sean is having an exhibition in November in Kuala Lumpur, so if you're in Kuala Lumpur, if you're not in Kuala Lumpur, just come also. Okay, come for Sean's exhibition in November. I'm sure it'll be great. She is a fantastic artist. I love going to her studio. I love taking photos of everything. Take things away in my bag, but I won't do that to her. Yeah, she's so creative. And
thank you.
Yes. And is there anything else that you'd like to add, Sean?
I'm happy to be here to have this happy talk with you, which is related to sex, midlife. What's more, sex, midlife, and self-care. Self-care, yes. But I think I mean we don't. I think I'm happy that we don't talk about something like kinky and erotism, because self-care we totally focus on self-care, which links with sex, and then which links with the midlifers, and you keep mentioning accept the fact, but it's a truth.
Yes.
Accept the fact.
It is. You see, that's why I used to have long hair. That's why I cut short. No, see, people tell me go and put serum and all that. What for? Right or not?
I do have gray hairs, and I'm not cheating. And then I do have gray hairs, and I want to keep my hair long because I think my long hair suits me well. And but I accept it, and I have gray hairs, and I have wrinkles.
I have gray hair also, but my hair so short you can't see. So, but anyway, it's just that. So it's just I mean, what we're discussing now is just a small example of acceptance. We're not saying we're so great. Of course, I'm sure inside me, maybe inside Sean, there are certain things that we're not so accepting of. Maybe there is. We don't know, but because we're human. But if there's any way we can help you, just let us know. And do leave us comments and share this with people whom you think would like to watch this. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, and one more thing, I want to conclude it. Our physical body may age, is aging every day, but the soul is ageless. So stay young in heart. Stay young in heart. then feel passionate about your present life and be present, still futuristic. That's my
Yes.
motto. Yes.
Well, yeah. It's just a matter of doing the same thing but doing it differently, right?
Differently, but interestingly.
You just
Yeah,
you can modify what you're doing to suit your phase of
always.
yes. So I want to thank Sean. Sean just
Thank
told
you.
me that she had her second shot yesterday. So see, she came for me. So I want to thank you. Really want to thank you for making the time. I
It's
know,
okay. My honor. My honor.
and
Honestly.
I'm so grateful
Mm.
because we talked about doing this for so long. Maybe one day we'll do this live. Uh, see, don't be
Yeah,
scared.
I have had this self intimacy
Yeah.
session with a group of young people. You know, it's not midlife. It's maybe 20 something to 30 something. Yes, I have been with them, and I heard something interesting from this group as well.
What?
I mean about self intimacy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, self intimacy. I think self intimacy is a kind of self care, as I said before.
Yeah.
And I have heard about different stories, different experiences. I mean, from different age group. I mean, teenage, 20 something to 30 something, 40 something to 50 something, 60 something to 70 something. I think my life is juicy,
Yes. I'm
and
sure
I'm
you
glad to be the
probably
audience.
tell, but uh, you are very discreet, of course. So Sean, I think also does events. Eventually, I hope to do it as well. We do recommend that you stay safe now because we're just in Malaysia. We're just opening up wherever you are, whether you're in lockdown or whether you're going out. Just remain safe. Um, Look after yourself. Okay, so that's what self
Yes.
care is about. So we'll say goodbye now. We're going to end the broadcast. And I
Thank
thank
you.
everyone for watching. I know a few of you watched, and I'll thank you privately later. And I want to thank Sean again. Thank you, Sean. Go and rest. Go
Thank
and
you.
drink more water. Okay. Okay. I'm going to end the
Thank
podcast now.
you.
Bye
Okay, bye
bye.
bye.